Hi everyone, welcome to SAMA. SAMA is a program where we normally invite an expert in to talk about their area of expertise. However, this week we have a presentation. We're going to present a new pulsed EMF mat, which we have been developing. It's an improvement on the previous mat. Now, to make life much easier for myself and possibly for you as well, we've created a PowerPoint. And I will show this now. So what we have developed is a larger pulsed EMF mat. Now it's quite a big deal because you haven't just made it larger, we've also made it better. This is where it sounds like an infomercial, doesn't it? But these suffer from chronic pain, which interferes with the quality of your life. And are you worried you'll have to depend on medications for the rest of your life? Now it's more than just an infomercial issue. Yeah, it's true. A lot of people manage pain. They take medication to reduce their sensation of pain. But the thing is, the thing that's causing the pain is still there. You've really got to get it at its source. And of course, there's surgery if the pain gets worse, or other expensive treatments. We are here to help. Okay, here's a brief overview, guys. Now, let's talk briefly about Big Magic. Big Magic is our larger pulsed EMF device. Now, we've already got our Mini Magic. That's our portable device that just clips onto your belt or slips into your pocket. You can carry that around with you for treatments during the day. But at night time, it's not so convenient because you've got the wires that can tangle up. And you can wake up in the morning with your whole body tied up in knots. But Big Magic is a device that's designed for sleeping on or resting on if you have it on a couch. Now, if you have it on your bed and you just leave it running 24/7, you can forget about it. But you can also forget about your aches and pains because they go away gradually. Big Magic emulates the natural frequencies of the earth, so it's not putting anything artificial into your body. It's talking your body's language. Your body has evolved, well, humanity has evolved in an environment which has this natural earth pulse. For those of you who wish to look it up, it's called the Schumann resonance or the Schumann frequency. It's actually a series of frequencies. Now, because the power consumption of Magic is so low, you can leave it running 24/7 without making a dent in your monthly pay bill. It doesn't make much of a difference. And pets love it as well. Now, pulsed EMF is actually quite an old technology. It's been used to treat a wide spectrum of conditions for an awfully long time. It's been found from the very beginning to be excellent for giving the cells in your body the energy they need to recover. So the kind of conditions that pulsed EMF can address is quite broad. Because it's also been around for such a long time, it's got a good track history of being safe. It doesn't cause harm. It's been optimized, Big Magic, for long treatments which are overnight, 8 hours, 10 hours. You can lie on the mat 24 hours a day and get the benefits without getting any form of overdose. And you can rest with the knowledge that your cells are getting more energy. So the mitochondria, which are the power cells in your body, the mitochondria are the power components of your cells, I should say, they get additional energy so they can do what they're designed to do. Okay, now without any further ado, introducing our new mat. Okay, bigger and better. Now, I'll show you using the other camera, the the difference between the sizes of the mat. It's quite large, but it is bigger and better. Bigger, you can see it's quite obvious, but why is it better? The new mat has been designed so the height of the magnetic field is greater. This gives it greater penetration into your body. It's also larger, so it covers a greater area. When you lie down over the big mat, it treats a larger area, not just a band of area, but your whole body where the mat is underneath. It's important to note that the mat will only work with big magic. It will not work with mini magic. Okay, so the advantages of the large mat, it's larger in size. The magnetic field pattern is improved, which increases the penetration. That is very important. You can have mats which are extremely powerful, but the field is low. It doesn't extend very high from the mat. And we've put efforts in to ensure that the field does extend further out. It'll provide the same treatment effect for any part of the mat because the field is uniform. It doesn't have spikes along the mat, and it isn't diminished at the edges. And another advantage is the mat's been made much more softer, and it's more comfortable to lie on. Specifications. Well, this is all in metric, so I'll be holding up the mat in a little while so our American friends you can see visually what the difference is in size. But gosh, conversion, I'm not even going to convert because it's too early in the morning. I'd probably get it wrong. But it is much larger than our previous mat. Now the magnetic strength has increased, but the flux density, which means the strength at every particular point, remains the same. But what you don't know just from numbers is the pattern of the magnetic field. Instead of most of that magnetic field being right on the mat, it's now been extended out. I guess it's like a powerful garden hose. You can have the garden hose on sprinkler, so the water goes in all directions, but it doesn't go very far. Or you can use these cannon heads on these hoses, I love those, which directs the water forwards and out. And this is an analogy of what we have done with our new mat. We've taken the field and extended it out further. So what's in the parcel? We have the mat, we have the power supply and a USB power cable. We've got the main unit, which is this unit here. We've got a portable bag, the coil tester, and an instructions manual. That bag is actually a beautiful bag. It fits everything in it. Makes it very, very convenient. Makes it easier to transport from one location to another whilst protecting the equipment. Instructions, what's really easy. First of all, you just plug in the power. You'll plug into the plus 5 volt DC port. Then you connect the mat to the main unit. There's only one orientation for the plug. The plug has a little key in it. And so you just rotate the plug until it falls in, and then you give it a push. You set to the desired power level, and then you turn it on. When the unit is running, there'll be a pulsing light at the top of the unit. We call it the breathing light. If you have it next to you on the bed as you're sleeping and the light is disturbing you, you can turn it off just by pushing the button on the side there, number 5. And just like our mini magic, there's a test coil, I should say coil tester. This coil tester, you just place it onto the mat and it will start flashing. You may need to reposition the tester until it lights. If you get the tester between two coils, because the tester bridges across the two coils will effectively cancel the field that's being seen by the coil tester. And then you start your treatment. Here you can see this lovely lady just sitting on the coil. We suggest treatment times of 3 hours or more. And for overnight treatments, you just place the mat under your bed sheet. Cautions. Don't use it in, near, or around water. As with anything that is pulsed electromagnetic fields or even contact mode or anything, don't use it whilst you're pregnant. And while using a non-MRI safe IUD, people or animals with organ transplants, they must take care before using any pulsed EMF device. It's best to get the advice from your trained medical professional. If you have a pacemaker, hearing aids, medical pumps, or other electrical implants and devices. Now, the pulses which Big Magic put out are gentle. They're not tremendously strong. They're for healing, not for bashing. If you have a hearing aid, the worst that could happen is that you could hear a ticking noise in the hearing aid. So it's really up to you whether you have, if you have a hearing aid, whether you still use Big Magic and sleep on Big Magic over the night. But these are our general precautions. Now, non-magnetic metal rods, screws, and plates are safe for pulsed EMF use. They don't respond to a magnetic field. And if an implant is MRI safe, it is also safe to use with Big Magic. Warranty. Well, there's a 30-day return if the product is returned in excellent condition with all parts, accessories, and the original packing. There's a 6-month warranty for the mat. Now, I believe that's a typo. I believe that's been extended to a 1-year warranty. So it's a 1-year warranty on the mat. And it's also a 12-month manufacturer warranty for the main unit. And the warranty doesn't cover water or physical damage. Frequently asked questions. Now, what are the differences between the two Big Magic mats? Is the new mat more effective than the existing one? And can it help us recover faster? Well, the previous mat, the Big Magic mat, is smaller. The Deluxe mat is larger in size and it doesn't compromise the magnetic strength. The magnetic field pattern is improved, which helps the penetration. It's also more even, the field, throughout the surface of the mat. It will provide the same treatment effect on any part of the mat. The mat has been made to be softer and much more comfortable. So the new pulsed EMF mat is more effective than the previous one. What is the intensity, waveform, and frequency of the new mat? With a total magnetic field strength of 6,000 Gauss, the flux density is about 80 Gauss. That's the same as the previous mat. The waveform and the frequency are unchanged from the previous mat because these come from the main unit. Now, what is the effective treatment area for the mat and how far does it penetrate? Well, the treatment area, I should say, is the area of the mat, and the penetration height is more than 30 centimeters. So you can see the penetration has increased quite markedly. And what makes it superior to the other pulsed EMF mats on the market, apart from the fact it was developed by a really dedicated team? Well, the Deluxe mat contains a multitude of coils to increase the penetration depth and to make the field more uniform. The coils are double layer planar and are comfortable to lie on. You can't feel the coils within the mat. The coils are millimeters thick, less than a millimeter thick, and you won't feel the coils. So they're more comfortable than other mats on the market. And how much can you bend the mat? Well, the mat has been designed to be laid on. It's designed for that, and so it's also designed to flex without any problems. Now, excessive bending may shorten its life, but it has been designed to flex, so there's certainly no problems in lying on it on a mattress. It's been designed for regular, everyday use. Is the mat washable and waterproof? And how should I clean it? Now, the material that we've used for the surface of the mat, it is waterproof, but the mat itself can't be soaked in water. That's because the sides have been stitched, and every stitch has got a tiny hole where the thread goes through. And of course, water can pass through that into the electronics inside. You can use a damp cloth to wipe the surface of the mat. How can the coil tester be used to check the function of the mat? Well, the mat contains many coils, and the tester lights up if it is placed over any of these coils. If the tester does not light up, it means it is between the coils, and if you move it a bit, then it will be positioned directly over one of the coils that are in the mat. What is the material of the pulsed EMF mat? Gosh, all these questions all rolled into one, 3 in 1. Can I use it directly on my skin? And which side of the big magic mat should face the skin? Okay, the material of the new mat is PU. It should not produce allergy. It should not give any sort of allergic reactions to people, even people that have got a sensitive skin. So it can be used directly on the skin. But normally people would put it underneath a cloth like a sheet, just to make it a little bit more comfortable. You can have either side of the mat facing you because the signal reverses anyway. But it's more comfortable if you use it with the power wire entering the mat from underneath. That's only because there's a little lump on the mat, and you want the lump to be away from your body. So people normally orientate the mat in that way. Do we provide a customized mat storage bag? Yes, we do. It's actually a very nice one. I'll be showing this on when we go back to full screen. I'll be showing the items and showing the sizes of the mat. Okay, what types of coils are used in the mat? Multiple planar coils are used. Now, the previous Big Magic mat only used one coil, one large coil, and this made the penetration not so great. How long and how often should we use the new PMF mat? Is it about the same as the previous mat? Well, we recommend applying, it sounds like a medical equipment, doesn't it? We recommend using Big Magic. I'll use a different word again. We recommend enjoying the effects of Big Magic for more than 3 hours at a time. In fact, overnight treatments are ideal. It's actually very good to do treatments overnight because at nighttime, your body is in recovery mode. It's got to repair the damage that you've inflicted on your body during the course of the day. So when your body is rebuilding, recovering, restoring, recharging its batteries, Big Magic is there to give it a helping hand. Oh, that's a nice thing, isn't it? Curtains, I've never seen that before. Thank you for choosing MiraMate. Well, there we go. So there we have it. Now, I promised you I'd show you the size of the mat. I'll change to the other camera and I'll give you a demonstration. Now, this is our previous mat. It's a reasonable size. People would lie on it. This will lie along the length of your spine, and it's pretty good. Now, you can compare that with the new mat. There's a big difference here, isn't it? It's a big difference. The new mat will certainly cover a much larger area for treatment. And you can roll about in your sleep and still get the full treatment. Part of the greater penetration is because the mat is larger. When you think of a magnetic field like a water sprinkler on your garden, on your lawn, you've got the sprinklers going out onto the grass. If you've got several sprinklers side by side, then the area is wider, but also the height will be greater because each one of these droplets is helping the other. And so we've increased the penetration quite markedly. So just up close, this is the large mat. Gosh, there's not enough room on the screen to show you. How's that? I'll go back a little bit. There we go. That's the large mat there. It's significantly larger than our previous unit, which is that, and it's close to the camera. So let's have a closer look at the mat. Now, the mat itself is soft and very pliable. On the previous mat, it's like a harder, almost like a canvas feel. You can see it doesn't bend and flex so easily. And you can feel the edges more. The foam is not very thick. It's still reasonably comfortable, but you know you're lying on it. The new mat is much more pliable. It's more like a fabric feel, and it's also thicker. Have a look at the thickness of that foam. That's quite significantly thicker than the previous one. And it actually feels quite nice. It feels very nice, actually. It's something that we're very proud of. We've poured a lot of time and effort into this to make it the better product that it is. Now, there's been a few questions that have come in, so I'll quickly go through these questions. A gentleman from Winchester, Virginia, America, a member of their family had a disc replacement surgery. Wow. And she's benefited from the big magic prior to her operation. Well, certainly after her operation, when she's come back, continue using it because it's going to help with your with this family member's recovery. That's what it's all about. Yes, and the new mat will be better. And Bev is asking, are there any plans for the mat to be able to be connected to a generator? No. Our generators don't produce enough power, Bev, unfortunately. You need to, even though it's a low power unit, it actually is quite high power for very short periods of time. Its average overall power is low, but for 100 microseconds, that's 100 millionths of a second, it gives tremendously powerful bursts of energy. And that's what the Earth actually produces with the lightning spikes around the Earth and the signals that bounce around and back again. This is the Schumann resonance I was discussing earlier. It's emulating that exactly. It needs to be a very short burst of energy to enter into your cells. Otherwise, it just goes around your cells. And this is what makes our magic series so magic. They all use the same science to get the signals into your cells. A question from Sarah. Sarah's passed it on. Can the mat be used by a person with a metal rod in the humerus? Yes, because metal rods are generally titanium, especially with the humerus, because it needs to be load bearing. So that will be no problem at all. No problem at all. that metal rod is subjected to magnetic fields during the normal course of a day anyway. Wherever you're sitting now, you're going to be bathed in electromagnetic fields. And the metal rod, the humerus, is not a critical part of your body like your heart. Can it be used on a horse? Oh, absolutely. Hey, this will be amazing for a horse. In fact, it has been used on large animals, as well as our smaller friends as well, until now. And we've had reports of this. If you want to go over, I think we have MiraMate reviews on spooky2reviews.com. But we certainly have had reports back of people that have used it with their animals. Well, okay, well, that's pretty much the presentation. I did want to show you the portable case, which it comes with. Everything fits in there. The mat folds up. I'm getting buried. But the mat folds up and fits into the case quite nicely. There's room for the main unit, which also, fits in tightly. It actually is a very good idea because the mat provides additional protection for the main unit, which contains electronics. So there's enough room for the mat, the main unit, the power supply, and your lunch. So that's all been optimized for that. Yes. Now this is our coil tester. You place this on the mat, and the lights just flash. We had a coil tester with our previous mat. It was a smaller coil tester. But because this coil is larger and the coils have been arranged very differently, we've decided to have a larger coil tester. So it's optimized for this mat. So you just put the tester over the mat, and the lights will flash very, very quickly, indicating that the magnetic field is doing its magic on your body, like tiny little fingers massaging you from underneath while you're sleeping. Another question's come through. A magnetic mat on their bed now, will it interfere with the mat? Well, yes. I can't put a gloss on that answer. It will interfere. A magnetic, it won't interfere probably in the way that you think, but the magnetic mat will absorb the field being produced by the Deluxe mat or even the smaller mat. And because it's absorbing the field, it won't pass up into your body. So it's best not to use any pulsed EMF device with a magnetic mat. It's not dangerous, it won't cause harm, it just will reduce the effectiveness of the pulsed EMF. Okay, I'll just check to make sure there's no other questions that have come through. Sometimes there's some things that have come through in the Q&A, and there are. Is there a multi-magic or an adapter on the horizon we can connect it to a generator X? This is a question from Carrie Grabanev. Carrie, no. It's again the question about connecting a mat directly to a generator X. And no, there's two reasons why that won't happen. The most important one, I guess, is that the generator hasn't got enough horsepower under the bonnet to drive the mat properly. The second reason is the pulse pattern is not like a normal square wave like the cheapy pulsed EMF units. It's very, very special. We're talking about 100 microsecond pulses, exactly 100 microsecond, not 101 or 99 microseconds. Pulses which have been established through multiple research groups. They've established that this is the best pulse pattern for healing. So if we use any other type of pattern, it's going to be deviating from the ideal. That plus the fact that it needs to be very high energy pulses to have an effect. Pulses which the generator hasn't got enough power to produce mean that will not happen. Another person has asked, will it help with multiple sclerosis? Have a look at our review site. I believe there was someone who had Parkinson's disease, well, has, and they found that the pulses produced, I think they are using the MiriMate's though, the MiraMate MiriMate's. They put it on and their tremors subsided. I believe they left completely. But this review and possibly others are on our reviews site. Okay. Another person is asking again, for Parkinson's actually, this person already has a spooky scalar in Generator X to help them with Parkinson's. And will the pulsed EMF mat assist? Yes, well, going by this review that we had from this other person that has or had Parkinson's and found that their condition subsided tremendously when they used their MiriMate's, the same pulse pattern or very, very similar pulse pattern is being produced, but just on a larger scale with our big magic. And of course, the Deluxe mat will get these healing signals deeper into your body. Okay, Marjorie Snyder's asking, does pulsed EMF improve pancreatic function? Pulsed EMF improves, and we can say pancreatic function, but it's better to say our organ function. If your organs have got low energy, they can't function optimally, can they? They're struggling to perform their necessary processes. It could be something like producing enzymes, producing, or their detoxification, or even just their recovery processes through the natural course of some of the cells dying and other cells replacing the ones that have gone. The body is always in a state of renewal. People say that every 7 years, some people say 9 years, you've got a different body because most of the cells that you had 7 or 9 years ago have died and been replaced. So you want to have those replacement cells nice and strong and healthy, and also have plenty of them, like, replace them 1-to-1. But if your body is busy with other health issues, then those replacement cells aren't going to be as good as the original cells. And your body is going to decline slowly. It's going to degrade. Well, pulsed EMF gives your cells the energy they need so they can do their housekeeping, all the very, very necessary functions of life, so you can live life properly. So yes, answering your question, it will improve pancreatic function, but more importantly, it will improve your whole body's function. Okay, other questions that have come in. Someone missed the first part of this presentation. Oh no, that was the best part as well. And really, how is it different from Big Magic? Well, just in a quick summary for this person who arrived late, we're talking about the mat, not the main unit. The new mat which we have released is larger, like the $6 million man, bigger, stronger, faster. Bigger, yes, stronger. Yeah, it's got a stronger field and faster. Well, it will be faster because it's covering a larger area and the penetration is deeper. So that's a quick one-sentence summary of the presentation up to now. And you can get $80 off if you go onto MiraMate.com and you give the coupon code, which is Deluxe Mat, one word with capital D and capital M. Okay. Other questions that have come through. Will it help with Alzheimer's? I don't know. Maybe we've had someone give a review. I don't know about that, sorry. Alzheimer's. Maybe for Alzheimer's you need to have a very powerful signal focused more on your head. You can have the mat under your pillow or even over your pillow because it's quite comfortable. If you have it over your pillow, then it brings the field very close to your head. So maybe that question's a seed of, that's a very good question actually. See, our previous mat is quite firm and a little bit hard. I think I couldn't sleep on that. It also feels quite cold. I don't think I could sleep comfortably with that over my pillow. But this new mat, it's got a more warm feel. Yeah, I think I could do that. I could put that over my pillow. Yeah. And I think I could do that. And that would put the feel close to my head. So maybe this new mat will be a solution for Alzheimer's. Well, we'll as soon as we hear from anyone that's tried it on Alzheimer's, we'll put it up on our reviews site so we can all benefit from that. The quick answer is I don't know. Okay, the question, can it be used if someone has a pacemaker? Most pacemakers have got magnetic shielding, but check with your doctor, check with the supplier of the pacemaker, the specialist or whoever it was, just to confirm, because the pacemaker performs a vital life function. You don't want to disturb that. So just ask them, say to them, you're thinking about buying a fantastic pulsed EMF device, and today's on special, so you really want to have a fast answer if possible. And can their pacemaker be used with a pulsed EMF device? And you can tell them it's 6,000 gauges over a large area, and they'll be able to tell you whether it's safe or not. It's best to ask them. Some pacemakers are very old, and of course the older ones may not have the same shielding as the new ones. So best ask. Always err on the side of caution. Jeff, you're asking, so shipping will be soon. Shipping, yeah, I think so. I think that the impact of the pandemic hasn't been too great on our shipping. On our side, it's fast. It's really on the receiving side. But I think it's only adding a few days in most cases. And they certainly do get through quite quickly. Okay. And Kamala, hi, hello, Kamala. It's lovely to see that you've joined me. Kamala has said it may help with Alzheimer's because pulsed EMF removes toxins. And this is something I haven't put much time into in this presentation, but what Kamala says is true. Because your body has got more energy in every one of its cells, those cells can allocate more resources in removing the toxins within the cells. But also, on the macro level, the pulsed EMF helps the fluids flow in your body between the cells through your lymphatics, and helps even with your blood. It helps in all those areas. So pulsed EMF is quite likely good for use with Alzheimer's, as in helping to either stymie the worsening symptoms, or may even reverse. But I don't have any case histories to throw back, so that's a bit unfortunate. But it ticks all the boxes for things that will help with Alzheimer's. And Carmen is saying it also helps with the reducing inflammation as well. Now, Alzheimer's, they're still trying to understand what Alzheimer's truly is. There was a lot of time a while ago, people saying it's plaque and build up in your cells in the brain. Aluminium was a causative agent. So this is when people stopped using aluminium for their cookware, or the smart ones did anyway. But now they're saying that the plaque may be the body trying to reduce the inflammation of some other type of nasty things that are happening in your brain. And so it's actually like the body trying to protect itself. But inflammation itself, it causes quite often more harm than good. Up to a point, it may be good, but beyond that, it can cause real problems. We see this actually with the coronavirus, where we get the immune system kicking into overdrive and hyperdrive, warp drive. And this is when the real troubles start, when you get the excess fluids in your lungs, you can't breathe, and all sorts of things happen. Okay, so it's that. Gosh, pardon me, a lot more Q&A things. Okay. Stephen Edwards says that he's read that it's good for Alzheimer's, and okay, I've answered that about the Parkinson's. Tony Marquet has said that the Deluxe mat is not available on the MiraMate website yet. Sam, can you just please confirm that the mat is available? Oh, okay. And the very next thing is the Deluxe mat is on website now. Thanks. So that was in the course of 5 minutes. Okay, I'm playing catch up. One of our viewers has asked, which pulse EMF device would you recommend for Parkinson's, considering it's a brain malady? Well, up until this morning, I would have suggested MiraMate's, I guess, because it's focused fields. But now I'd say it's MiraMate's during the day and the Deluxe mat during nighttime on your pillow. That would be a good scheme, because then at any point in time, you're getting the healing pulse EMF where you need it. If you're sensitive to EMF, a question from Stephen Edwards. Well, more and more people are getting sensitive to EMF. There's a theory behind that too, and the reason what is behind the sensitivity to EMF. I was reading a study where, when I say reading a study, I'm not talking about a Google search. I do deep researching through the proper literature channels, and a group of researchers found that for the particular patients that they had participating in the study, their sensitivity wasn't actually their own cells being sensitive to the EMF. It was the pathogens that the EMF was targeting. When the EMF was being seen by the pathogens were reacting by releasing extra toxins. And of course, the people were thinking that it's themselves that are sensitive to the EMF. In that particular case, it wasn't. It may be different for other people. The study involved around 80 people, but this may differ from population to population. Okay, so if you're sensitive to EMF, I haven't really answered that question properly. Really, you're asking, Stephen, whether you can use the MiraMate products. The answer is I really don't know. Some general feedback which I've seen is that it hasn't adversely affected people that are sensitive to EMF, but there's different degrees of sensitivity as well. There's some people that can't go to a supermarket because there's too much EMF floating in the air, and I'll be loath to say to you that you won't be affected by the MiraMate pulse EMF products, only to find that you are. So I can't say that you won't be. But my recommendation to you is to look at our reviews, real live people that have given feedback, how they've found the devices are good for, and there's bound to be some people that are sensitive to EMF signals and given feedback as well. So please have a look at the reviews, and the answer may be there. Alrighty, well, that's the presentation for today. The unit comes, of course, with its power supply, USB cable that plugs into the power socket inlet. It comes in a beautiful box. Everything's enclosed in the box. But most people, actually, when they get the unit, they'll store it in the portable case because it's so convenient. Everything's all just in one bag, and everything's all fully protected by the mat, which goes into the case. It's a good sized case, and it's even got the compartment for the lunch as well, which is very, very important. You can't live life without lunch. Okay, and it comes with an instructions manual. It's the sort of manual that I like because it's got pictures and plenty of them. Just step by step. Goes through the usage. In fact, it's quite a thick manual. Why is it so large? Oh, I see what we've done. We've combined all the MiraMate products in one manual. How good is that? How good is that? That means when you buy our Big Magic, you get the instructions. The instructions for Big Magic, of course, is very, very simple, only a couple of pages. But you can read about all the other amazing MiraMate products and decide whether they're suitable for you as well. Because, of course, we've got our MiraMate Flash, which is amazing for skin conditions. I'm looking to see whether we have our ray gun, which is our latest device. Gosh, it's a beautiful manual. You know, I've never really spent time. We've got our, we've got a lot of really good equipment here. And you can read all about it. And I couldn't read Flash. I don't think we've got Flash here. Okay. Well, we've got our ray gun. Sorry, I should say. Ray gun's our new VUV device for skin conditions. You'll have to go onto our MiraMate.com website to read about that. But all our products are here, so that's very nice and convenient. I should spend more time reading our manual, shouldn't I? And the Deluxe mat will be added into the instructions booklet soon. Because it's so new, it's not in here. But the instructions are for connecting the MiraMate and plugging in the mat, and the instructions won't differ between the smaller mat and the larger mat. Well, that's the introduction for today for our new MiraMate product, our lovely, large and comfortable pulsed EMF mat. Thank you for spending the time participating, and for the questions that have come through. That's all good. We are making a new instructions guide, which will have our larger mat, will have our beautiful ray gun, and everything else. So thanks for joining. Been lovely to go through a SAMA without any technical hiccups. And of course to be again live streaming on Facebook. It's I'd love to meet all of you on Facebook, and maybe one day I will. You know, the universe has got a way of making things happen. In particular, and this is just between you and me, if you do good things and you don't tell other people about the things that you do, the deeds, the good deeds, you just do them. So good things do happen when you do good things. When you pass the love forwards. And so this is what I ask for you to do now. Pass the love forwards. Pass the love to your loved ones and even those that you don't love. And make the world a better place. Keep safe, keep well. Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining. Until next time, goodbye.